everyone, and what is up? Welcome to Extreme Bronco Live Wednesday night edition, our second episode. Gavin, what is up with you?
Nothing much.
All right. Can everyone hear us? Somebody give us a yay or a nay. Hopefully the audio's do. I think we've worked all that stuff out, haven't we? I guess we'll find out here in just a minute. John Burdett, hey, what's going on? Nick, nice to see your comment there. Andrew Littlejohn, what is up? And let's get some people in here. We're going to, hey, John, again. And yeah, man. All right. Audio is good. I appreciate that. So tonight we have a few things we're going to be talking about. You know, Gavin's here, school night. So he's only here for like 30-ish minutes. Andy Ackerman, what is going on? Awesome. Right out of the gate with a $2.99 super sticker. Thank you, Andy, for that. I appreciate it. And we've missed seeing your comments on here. It's good to see you again. Good to see your profile. Let me say that. Good to see your name there. Blueford, what's going on, Blueford? Overlanding for fun. Hey, everybody. You're here so the party can start. That is absolutely right. Tonight, we're going to talk about a few things. One is a new Facebook group, which I am so grateful exists. And even Gavin is allowed. He's not allowed on Facebook, but he's allowed to look at this Facebook group. So that says a lot, right? I mean, what are you on right now? You're on, go ahead and say the name of the Facebook group that we're going to talk about tonight.
Well, let's just mention that for.
Andrea, what's going on? Thank you for that super chat, Andrea. I really appreciate that. And I see you're having a blast. You're like just burning the trails up and you got a free cookie somewhere. What's up with that? Yeah. So good to see you're having fun. And we miss seeing you, by the way.
Yep. So the group is called Bronco Roundtable 6G Plus, and it is moderated. Yes.
Which is key. So we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Also, our Bronco Raptor order update. Let's see. What else are we going to talk about? Our trip last weekend was rained out and the wind blew just a little. If you, I don't know if you saw on the news, the Outer Banks, there was a few houses that had washed in the beach. Did you see that? Down in Hatteras? So two houses, the sea reclaimed them. So you know some of the houses that are real close to the water, you know, in Corolla, there's that one that we have to kind of at high tide almost drive around, headed up back towards Virginia state line. Well, further south in Hatteras. So this is, you know, south of Kitty Hawk, south of Nag's Head and so on. There was two houses fell in the water. So that's why we didn't go over the weekend. I guess you can figure that out. Let's see, Kyle, rain tomorrow had put the doors and top back on. Yeah, I hear you on that one. And, you know, a lot of us have our Broncos now, and we're at that time of the year where taking the tops off and everything else is pretty cool. Andrea, all is well, free cookies and hoping to check out some trail. Yeah, please do. And make sure you get plenty of video of that. Hey, Andy, I got targeting with people getting around banned for 2013 posts. So I left it. I got you. I hear you, Andy. I totally understand that. G. Willikers, howdy. What's going on? And Kyle, we already said hello, but I just saw that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that. And Bronco 78, what is going on there? And Andreas, let's see, super chat there. Thank you once again. Overlanding, we got that. And Andy's $2.99 super sticker. I appreciate that. And by the way, right out of the gate with the super sticker and super chats, I do appreciate it. If you want to help support our channel, there's several ways to do it. That is one. The other way is you can go to drivenwildgear.com. We only have a few things there, but one of the items we have is my book Driven, which is also the book banner here behind me. And if you want a really cool book, and let's see, an old rusty car that I couldn't afford to buy a tarp to cover it in my backyard, has led me to being able to do fun stuff with my two daughters and little mini me right here, Mr. Gavin. Anyway, book pretty cool. If you like, you know, the idea of getting your first hot rod back, fixing it, how do you, life right here. And also it begins with, I couldn't afford a tarp for the car, and it ends with building houses for Extreme Makeover Home Edition on TV. That was pretty cool. All right, so let's get started right off the bat. Someone's getting ready to come in. We hear the garage door opening. We're actually over the Broncos right now and the black car.
So Broncos right the green one's right here, and the blue one is somewhat over there.
The blue one's over there. The black car's over there, and the F-250 is over here.
F-250 is forward down.
They don't really
Black
care
car
where.
is back down.
All right,
Blue one's back down.
I don't think they care where our Broncos and our car is. However, we do have Overlanding for Fun say he's been topless all week. All right, Tim, you know how to party. Yeah, we're on the old FB there because some people are, but yeah, I get it. Let's see. All right, so let's get started here. Before we get into Bronco Raptor news, which is a whole lot of no news, Bronco Roundtable 6G Plus moderated. So here's a cool group, right? If you're tired of build dates and complaints and whatever else is going on. Now, I want to make it clear, I'm not knocking another page at all. Whatever, there's a home for everyone. But this is a cool place to go look at good, solid Bronco content, off-roading, using your Bronco, accessories, kind of like putting on stuff. What does it look like? How does it work? And of course, there's some pictures of people getting their Broncos and seeing them with the modifications going and things like that. So it's a break from what we've come accustomed to. So I can tell you I don't know how I found it. No one invited me. I think I just found it there, and I invited a bunch of friends because, hey, I think it's a good place. And Gavin, you're going through it right now. You can go ahead and go through some of the stuff there. There's nothing in there that scares you or me as your dad. Yeah. So look, keep looking. Johnny's there. That's cool. Andrea's there. So it's important that you have somewhere to go, that you don't end up depressed when you want to see good, solid Bronco content. So I highly recommend you, if you have not seen it, go to Facebook, search Bronco Roundtable 6G Plus, and it's going to say moderated in brackets there. It really is a cool place to go see some just genuine content. I think how the idea was originally meant to be in general, but it's not always the case. So whatever you want, if you like, if you've got the popcorn out and you're reading some of the other stuff, then like I said, there's a home for everyone. I really don't care, other than the fact that I like somewhere that Gavin and I can look at content and I'm not, freaked out, ready to like swipe the screen clear or something like that, or exit out or whatever we're doing there. What is that? Oh yeah, somebody has a someone, different bumpers, different wheels. Someone's stuck in a ditch, a shelf bigger than So, and see, you're actually getting to see someone that was trying to maneuver it. Looks like a drainage ditch, and it was a little deeper than they thought. So
it was an eruption green. So obviously 22. It's an eruption green Badlands Sasquatch with hard top.
Very good, man.
And two-door.
And you know that because you just looked at the picture.
Well, yeah, because you can see.
That's right.
Badlands logo, hard top.
Yeah, Overlanding for Fun said, "Don't swipe right." No chance there, Tim. I'm not doing all that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What is that? Oh, that's wiring. Okay, so there's some. No, that's something else. So anyway, it's just somewhere nice, like I said, to be able to go and not see a bunch of stuff and arguments and somebody's talking about the Roush. Was that the cold air? Yeah. So you get to see stuff being used on other people's Bronco, and you're not having to filter through how many days it's been. Now I get it. If you've been waiting on your Bronco, you're frustrated. I get it. I was in the beginning. I understand. Like I said, there's a page for every emotion you could possibly have. But if looks like gray. But if you want somewhere to go, just see good, raw, good Bronco content, that's where you go. And Gavin's showing me all these pictures over here. So
the speaker system for sure.
You like that?
Might be a little too much for me. But.
So yeah, Tim said don't swipe right. So I hope the Wednesday night thing is going to work out for everyone. We have some really good. So we're working on a guest for next week. Hopefully I'll be able to announce that, but I think it's going to be very informational, especially. Let's see if I can go over here to this. Yep, cool. So watch out for a announcement here in just a few days for next week's show. I don't think you're going to miss this. It's going to be cool. So it's going to be really, hold that picture right there. We're going to talk about that. It's going to be really good next week. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be fun and all of that good stuff. Let's see here. Some of the comments here. Yeah. Hey, Tim, what's new out where you're at there in your great part of Indiana? So what's going on with the weather? I mean, is it changing? Because I'm in a sweatshirt today. Like it's what, May?
Yeah,
May 11th?
It was not cold. I don't know how my parents are always cold. I was playing soccer and it was not cold. It was raining.
Because you're 10 years old running for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah, and it was pouring.
And it was raining a few times.
It was really fun.
And the news was there. Yeah. So anyway, hey, check this out. We didn't talk about this last week. We finally got our Molly straps. Molly straps? And Molly, there's probably another name. Somebody grill me in the comments. But anyway, so we got our Molly bags for our Molly panel, and I guess we have our Molly straps now. Some of this weird stuff that's back ordered, right? It's like if you go to a grocery store and can't buy orange juice, like, it's a problem. So stuff like this right here takes forever to get. All right, so we talked about the awesome Facebook group that you can actually go visit with your family now. Bronco Roundtable 6G Plus Moderator. Go check it out. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that it's heavily moderated. So read the rules and follow them and enjoy. All right. So there's actually a post of Lifestyle Off-Road came out with their skid plates. Go back to the top of the article. Yeah, Lifestyle Off-Road skid plates now available. That's an awesome picture. So I guess someone was laying on the floor and took a picture up at the Bronco with them on a lift, and that is just a beast. You can go ahead and scroll it up a little bit. But they look really good. I like how they're covering it looks like the entire drive line there, except, well, you notice that right there. So it looks like they kept the original skid plate for the fuel cell or the gas tank. Sorry, racing stuff. But I do hear that was built really well, so it was good to leave it alone anyway. So I think that's what's going on there. Technical disasters. I just bought the Molly strap bags and tailgate table today. Are you going to install the tailgate table? Or first of all, did you get the Ford accessories table, or did you go with someone else's? And if either way, are you going to install it yourself? 4 high, 4 low. Good evening. What is going on? Thanks for joining us tonight. Hey, Nurse AJ. It's 89. Hold on. In Indiana right now, it feels like a temperature of 94. Wow. Well, you see, Mid-Atlantic, we have sweatshirts on. We have houses falling in the water just south of us on the beach, and it's high tide around here. It's pretty fun. We actually live on a creek, but we're so elevated that if we flood, it's over.
Here's that one guy.
Oh yeah, Justin. Yeah, that's Justin's Bronco, which we messaged him, by the way, the other day. We definitely want to do something off-road down in North Carolina. Andrew Littlejohn, it's pretty great in the Northeast Indiana right now. Finally, some warm weather. Well, Andrew, I wish we had it here in Mid-Atlantic. We've had this, I guess they call it a nor'easter, just been kind of sitting off the coast, just beating us up here for a while. And it's just cold, and, it'll rain for 10 minutes and sunny for 3 hours and whatever. But
then start pouring.
And then start pouring.
Nice hood.
That is a nice hood. But yeah, we're done. So hopefully I have a friend coming in from out of town Friday and Saturday. And then hopefully hold that picture right there. Hopefully Sunday, if the weather's right, we can make that trip to the Outer Banks and see what's left of our little spot there. But I definitely want to know what everyone's plans are for the weekend and what the weather is going to be like this coming weekend, wherever you are. So it looks like Indiana is where we want to go. What's that?
Should take TJ to the beach.
No, he has plans on Sunday, Friday and Saturday here, and we're headed over. We were actually going to go ride 4-wheelers and do some stuff, but they're calling for rain. I know. So we're going to take the Bronco on the trails in the rain and mud.
Really?
Maybe some video to follow if it happens.
We're actually going on trails.
Like like actually in the mud, like
But
actually
why
in the
can't
rain,
I ride
actually.
my 4-wheeler on the trail?
Um,
That'd be fun.
yeah, because no, and we'll talk about that later.
Because, oh.
It's per the landowner's request. Right. So we're kind of, but the Bronco is it's a lot safer there. Let's see, Kyle, been the upper 80s, low 90s all week here. Mississippi, no rain. Had to dry off a few times every day. Yep. Love the MGV. So do we. Gavin, let's see, on the way back from Supercell, what'd you get on the seat anyway?
I do not know. I didn't even get anything on the seat.
So there's these little handprints. So he can't deny they were his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you still deny them, right? You're like, the hand's that big. Anyway.
I don't deny it.
Oh, you did? You're saying they were yours?
Yeah.
You're proud of those stains on the MGV?
Well, no.
Anyway, they wipe right off.
Grease stains weren't me.
Yeah, okay.
Those were mom set something on the seat.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I think they got lunch like when we were driving. But anyways, damp cloth, wiped it right off, took care of it, dried, didn't know anything was there. So yeah, I'm with you. The MGV is pretty awesome. And yet here's the other thing too. It's not they're not waterproof. It's the interior is water resistant. So don't recommend power washers to the inside. Did you see that?
Yeah, and
don't be nice.
I don't even know who did it.
Okay. Okay.
And so since Moringa vinyl is a lot thinner than leather or cloth, it'll tear a lot easier.
It will, I think.
But it's more water resistant. So that's a pro. Like, yeah, you can technically use a hose, but don't just use a power washer and just kill the whole car, because it's that real hard little tiny stream just cut.
Well, I have zero desire to hose the thing out. Maybe, maybe the floor, right? Let it drain out. But as far as the seats, it's just wet cloth wiping everything down.
I want to get a bucket of water and just try the drain. I want to do that.
I need to keep the Broncos locked, because something tells me I'm going to come home one day and there's going to be like, hey, Dad, I need to tell you something. Yeah, right. Yes, let's see.
That's me.
Technical disaster said, I got the Ford one and will install myself. Okay, so couple things there. Be careful about the drilling part. I don't know if you saw on one of the pages this week. You all right, dude? Mm-hmm. One of the pages, someone drilled through the outer skin of the swing gate. Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's gonna be.
So the installer, we have a video. It doesn't show it being installed, but in the video, I talk about it. The installer that did ours did several. The first couple made noise. He figured out what the noise was. If you go check that video here on our channel, it's like installing swing gate table. I say some of the stuff. There's extra washers, making sure that the bolts, which are close to going through the outer skin, and a couple areas that they don't. You remember?
Yeah.
Oh, what
Tim,
happened?
I heard Gavin spilled some Olive Garden Alfredo sauce on the seat. Wasn't just on the seat, it was all over the floor. So I didn't spill it, it leaked out of the container.
Yeah, right. Wasn't my fault.
Then it dripped out the bag that was in the floor, then went everywhere. Didn't get on most stuff. It was just some mat sets.
Hey,
so bad. And Tim also said, "Come on, Dad. Let him dump a bucket of water on the floor."
All right, Tim, you first. You film it.
Yeah, Tim.
You film.
Let's do it.
You and your kids doing that, and then I'll do the dump the water in the Bronco challenge with you. How's that?
Yeah. Well, what we need to do.
And by the way, we're not condoning that. We're not saying that.
Just open the top all the way. Just go.
I promise, Bronco.
You're baking some Broncos. Make some Bronco. Cook them in the oven at.
Come on, man, cut me some slack. I'm tired. I've had
at 425 for like 15 minutes.
I've had a rough couple of weeks at work, like heads in a vice. The camera didn't like that. You see that focusing going on there? But technical disasters, yeah, definitely look into that. The tables are great, by the way. We also have a video where, before you put the table on, consider this if you want to do it, where the Bronco is stamped. When you take off the accessory ready panel on the swing gate, there's a slight area that's not painted in that divot area. Um, Two things. I wanted to hide that. Number two is I wanted to add some color to the back of that table so Bronco stood out. So we took some aluminum. It was printed aluminum. Sounds kind of strange, but they take brushed aluminum, and I forget the thickness of it. It's pretty thin, and they actually put it goes through a printer and it prints the color onto it. And we did the sort of Badlands orange, and so I don't know if that's technically cyber orange, but whatever. But
kind of
it's kind of cyber orange. I think part of the issue there, Gavin, we talked about it on the logo. The logo is reflective, so that kind of throws it off.
And technical disasters, it's kind of like your profile picture color, just the T with like the orange in the background.
Yeah,
that's kind of that color.
Andy said, "You work." I really see, Andy. I work a lot. Gavin will tell you, I hustle probably anywhere between 50 and 80 hours a week. I'm always working. My mind never shuts off. And in the real estate business right now, we have a problem to conquer. We have interest rates going up. We have inventory low. We have people that need housing, and we're trying to figure out what to do. All right, let's see here. 4 high, 4 low, 65 to 85, mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday, St. Augustine, Florida. Do you know we are and by the way, great weather. I love Florida, by the way. We're planning on going down to Florida. Well, we are going to Florida this summer, but we haven't gotten our plane tickets yet. So I think, are we going to try to do this Bronco drive thing?
No.
Why? No. Nope.
20-hour.
No, it's not.
Compared to 2
It's
hours.
like 10 and a half hours.
Mom said it was 20 hours on the trip there.
Your mom doesn't want to drive. That's why. So she's trying to get you kids, she's trying to get you guys to vote against driving.
And Dave, thank you for that $5 super chat.
All Terrain Nation, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I challenge others.
And Dave also said, "Hey guys, while watching from the ball field." By the way, hello. And so my sister's at a softball game right now. So
yeah, so Alexa is softball, and
Mom,
actually, did you hear she got
this.
hit? She got hit in the hand earlier. Did you hear that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, she got hit in it. She's okay, but yeah. So but All Terrain Nation, thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that. So we are trying to grow the channel, and we're trying to expand and do all kinds of cool stuff. We are working on a new little home theater / studio get up here, so that would definitely help with that. Yeah, somebody ran through their garage door, didn't there? Florida weather's nice, like 3 days a year. I hear you. Dirk Connor, hey, good evening. What's happening?
And getting hit in the hand with a 40 to 50 mile per hour ball, which I'm assuming is true,
hurts. Yeah.
That's one way to crack your knuckles.
Well, yeah, but that's not the way you want to do it. You want to kind of do that kind of control, right?
Yeah, just do like this.
All right, Bronco Raptor news. So the breaking news, it's just going to be like watching the regular media. The breaking news is there's no news. So I did reach out to our dealer. I hadn't heard anything. And they're really good about it. If there was news, they would have let me know. I don't have to reach out to them. But I hadn't heard anything. I was like, what the heck? Let me email so I could talk to you about it tonight with some certainty. And basically there's been silence about the Bronco Raptor as far as build dates and everything else. I think some people got build dates, but I don't know where that is. Did you see, and I don't have the screen sharing up right now, but the Ford Authority, which by the way, if you've never looked at the Ford Authority, it is a great place to go get a lot of really cool up-to-date info. Make sure your volume's off there. The Ford Authority had an article, and I think some other people had it as well, where 53,000 wheels on the ground, new Fords built, waiting on some type of, I guess, semiconductor, for the modules to be installed, or chips, as we just say.
So what is it?
I just searched some of the articles there, and I think it's 53,000 vehicles. That means parts built, sourced, delivered, installed, labor paid, overhead, vehicle done, sitting there. That is a ton of wheels on the ground. Oh, what was that? That's an old article there, Bronco Raptor. So yeah, that's an old one there.
Ain't it kind of
So that's a lot of wheels. So as far as the Bronco
Oh.
Raptor news being no news, I would have expected that.
awesome.
I don't know if there's um, anything else going on while the Broncos are sitting, or it's just the typical chip stuff. But I will tell you, man, everywhere there are production issues, and it's just messed up. Andy, how has it affected your business? With everything. I mean, fuel costs is outrageous. And let's not get political. I just mean, fuel costs, I can assure is. However, are you seeing less deliveries or more deliveries, or are you busier than ever? I mean, how does it look on that scale? I just know I really, really hate it for the fact that people could, really get their new vehicles, but this year is going to be another challenging year. I don't know what it's going to be in the used car market. As far as the new car market is very thin. It's kind of crazy. My dealer, their lot's pretty thin, but they're having, I guess, one of the better months they've had. And how that's happened is a vehicle gets delivered. It's an ordered unit. It gets run through inspection, detailed, and it's out the door. People come pick it up that day or the next day. So you're just not seeing them stacked up in the parking lot, which brings me to a real estate thing. If I owned a dealership, and car dealers, they understand this stuff, by the way. If I owned a car dealership and I had one of these, humongous pieces of property in prime real estate, prime location, if you look at maybe the consensus, Gavin, is that they're lower inventory, even when things get back to normal, if they ever get back to normal. That lower inventory means you need less room. So if I own this dealership and I own the land, I would look at subleasing, or, in some cases selling it, but selling it's in. I don't like selling real estate because it's a done deal. It's a transaction. It's over with. Whereas leasing or renting, there's reoccurring, income there, but you also have control. At some point, you get to control the piece of real estate versus just selling it and you don't know what happens to it. But my thing is that if I had all this, and I don't mean a decent mid-sized dealer or small dealer, I mean humongous, I would really look at doing that if the property's laid out right, if it's feasible and things like that. Because these, car dealers are still selling some units. They don't have them stacked up. We don't have a 6-month supply or whatever the numbers were 4 years ago. I know the average car on the road is older by a couple years, 3 years now, maybe more. That was an old number. Car lots have obviously less inventory. There's less to pick from. Yeah. So all this stuff, it's not news. You've heard it 100 times, but I'm just thinking, when does the short-term become the long-term play? Like when do owners of dealerships start thinking about, well, the temporary shortage is now 6 months, it's 12 months, it's 24 months. At what point does it's no longer temporary and it becomes a business model that you have to conform to, or a business environment that your business model has to conform to? I don't know. That's probably too much for.
And I have to get going because.
All right, filling my tank. So Andy says filling this tank is roughly $800. That is, and I'm assuming that's close to double of what it was maybe like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, or it's just a lot. I spent over $100 the last week taking my kids to daycare. Wow. Yeah, that is crazy. John Burdett, I'm a truck driver and it costs $700 to fill up right now. Wow. Well, Andy and John, thank you for what you do, by the way. We do appreciate you, because without you, there wouldn't be all this stuff we have right here,
Yeah,
right?
And I have to get going because I'm tired and I have to finish up some homework.
You have homework to do?
Yes.
Dude, you need to. What time? It's 9:00.
Yes.
Right on the dot. So what that means is homework is not. What's some of the games you play?
Fortnite, Call of Duty, Rocket League, Wreckfest, soon to be SnowRunner.
What's the car game you got the other day? The Wreckfest? Do you just say that?
Yeah.
Okay, Wreckfest. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're. Well, I won't say it.
Hmm?
The word that people like to use when they drive off into the into the wild uncontrollably. It starts with an S, but let's not say it. All right. Good night, Gavin. Overlanding for fun.
Good night,
Tim,
everybody.
thank you very much for saying that.
Good
I
night,
appreciate
Tim.
that. Gavin is out, and see ya.
Bye,
No
guys.
game. No game, dude.
Well, homework, then game,
So-
then bed.
So Bronco Raptor, being that there's no news there, I'm assuming that it's still going to be a summertime build, but is it July, August? I really don't care. I'm not complaining at all. I want everyone that's ordered a Bronco to get theirs first, is really would be the icing on the cake. But I'm just curious, is there something new there we haven't heard about yet? And we'll hear about it soon. And by the way, Gavin was talking about pouring water in the bottom of the Bronco. We did opt for the marine grade in that as well, which may not be as plush as that leather suede combination that they have, but that also has carpet in it. And I think that something like that you're going to beat on pretty hard out in the wild needs to be definitely needs to have washout flooring, at least in my opinion. Nick, I will tell Gavin you said that. Hoping for a summertime build for my Everglades. Yeah, John, I hope you get that Everglades. I love to see pictures of it too, and how you like it, being able to drive it and use it. I know you've seen the videos between my channel and over on All Terrain Nation where, I thought it was cool, but yeah, I like things a little bit different anyway. Andy says, I got my AZ pinstriping last time home. Good deal. Good deal. So starting those customizations, small things, but going from there. I don't know if you've seen my pictures on social media, but we added a logo, our Bronco Wild Outdoors branding on the bottom of the door. And we did it so that it works like a PPF, kind of. It's not technically a PPF, but it's a real thick vinyl. I say really thick. It's a little bit better than a 2.5 mil vinyl. It's got a little texture to it. Anyway, it's pretty cool. So I'm actually going to try to look at some other stuff that we have going on over here on the second stream. Hey, by the way, did you see the, is it Big Ollie? 1969 Ford Bronco. This happened a few weeks ago. Baja Legend 1969 Ford Bronco. Big Ollie flipped over in the Mexican 1000 rally. That's a bummer because I think someone paid a good penny for that one. I want to say, yeah. Oh, Andy, you said, so I was trying to read your comments, had to go back up and look at that. Yeah. Pond striping. You never know what people are getting nowadays. I know what you meant though. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wasn't comparing. Yeah, sorry. I was took me a minute to figure it out. Yeah, no, I wasn't comparing what we did to ours, but yeah, yours is a lot different. I get it. But I mean, saying the small things, we've added in one of our Broncos, we've added the swing gate folding table. And on the same Bronco, we added that logo at the bottom, and that's it. I have not installed lights, winches, which by the way, I was going to talk to you tonight about if we were ordering a Badlands again right now, getting back to the accessories that we haven't done, I really like the idea of installing a winch. But I also, on one Bronco, I went with the modular bumper because I liked the way it looked, also liked the modularity, the idea behind it. But I didn't think about the adaptive cruise, which limits you to bumpers that you can swap it out with, number one. Number two, if you do the Warren Xeon winch, the 10,000 pound winch, like on the Everglades, and you put it on, say, with the Lux package, you have adaptive cruise control. That works out okay, but you block your camera, if not all of it, most of it. And I've been trying to keep up. Are there camera relocation kits for that setup, or is that just someone that has on different bumpers? I know Lifestyle Off Road has a really nice front bumper that you can install a winch on that one. And the winch that you use, the control box is off to the side. So that helps with the camera some visibility. I mean, you still see the winch in the camera, but you can actually still see in front of the Bronco, for that approach. Or quite frankly, my 21 Bronco that I pull into the garage, it's parked behind my old Mustang, this one here. And I rely on that camera so I don't hit it because it's a tight fit. So, like, I need the camera. Um, if I were doing it again, I would do, I think, a high package with the 12-inch screen. And kind of maybe, and which would probably help on on ordering anyway with chips. It doesn't have anything to do with allocations. Allocations is an entirely different thing, but it would, I think it would help there, but it would also give me the ability to use more bumpers and not. I do know that some aftermarket companies offer a relocation kit and some do not. And so it's like everything else. You can see these things everywhere, but I'm just saying it would be, your options are more plentiful if you don't have adaptive cruise control. We've used it one time, and well, I say one time, used it several times on one trip coming back from Townsend, Tennessee. And I don't like how there's heavy acceleration. If you get behind someone and you change lanes and it nails the gas. And I don't know about you, and we won't start the argument about all the turbo etiquette stuff, but I just don't like stabbing the gas, lugging an engine when you're in low RPMs, even though, I mean, if you're on an interstate and you're going 70 miles per hour, 2.7 Sasquatch is roughly 2,000 RPMs. So anything less than 70 with 35-inch tires, you're going to be below that 2,000 RPMs. And I just don't like the idea of just stabbing the gas. So I won't be using it that often. My point of all that is I really didn't have to have that part, but I do like the other things that come with the Lux. So I'm kind of torn there. And I was actually waiting on the printout because I couldn't find the email for the Raptor of all the goodies that's in that. See if that came over yet while we're talking. And nothing yet. So maybe that's next week. We'll talk about that next week. Actually, and our guest next week's not going to run the entire show, or maybe it will, because this is going to be interesting. Watch out for the advertisement. It's going to be very fun, very informational. News you can use, techniques you can use, and stuff you need to know. I say techniques you can use, basically information that you need to know in off-roading. And there's a lot of stuff out there. Just, I see videos out. If you're on private property, it's one thing, but when you're on trails, there's a certain way you drive trails. And so, anyway, it's going to be good. You don't want to miss next Wednesday night at 8:30. And that's if everything works out. But based on the last message I have, it looks like next week is going to be good. So we'll be advertising that as well. Let's see. Don't let the slow bloke in front of you bring your speed down that much. Problem solved. Tim, that is a good point. Unfortunately, on Interstate 85, we were kind of limited. But between, let's see, where were we? But where 40 and 81 kind of merged, that area in there, it's kind of, I'm sure Andy knows that neck of the woods, and maybe John. I think Bodyguard bumpers work with Lux. I'll have to look into that, Andy. Yeah, so the Lux is great. I'm not knocking it at all. Great features. I like the USB on the dash. Gives you some charging options there, but bumpers a little bit different. Now, I wish I could relocate the camera and keep the Warn winch on the modular bumper. North Shore Bronco has a video out, and I forget forget which bumper it was that he was, but he's an ambassador for it now, where he's able to show all the cool stuff that they have, and they're putting these sort of hidden winches are almost hidden on modular bumpers, and I think maybe on capable, but I know on modular. So that's an option as well. So that's something to look into. And I definitely need to check into it. I was watching one of his videos for a few minutes. Being on private property does not excuse poor trail etiquette. Tim, you're absolutely right. I'm just saying, if somebody's on their own 30 acres and they go do whatever, well, I get it. But our guest next week is really, I think, helping potentially, well, should, based on the experience I have, will help people that are new or newer to off-roading. And I don't mean you've had an old vehicle and locked the hubs in a couple of times. I mean, the entire adventure around off-roading, not only for vehicles and people safety, but as far as Mother Nature, right? And so there's something to be said about keeping it as pristine as you can. It's going to be interesting. So we'll talk about that next week. Yeah, I've traveled a lot in that area. It gets congested. Yeah, it does. That area. And we're talking about Interstate 40 and 81 merger there in North Carolina. It's just, man, it's busy. We will be going back that way. It looks like not terribly long from now. Man, our viewers have just dropped off. We were at like 30 something. Now we're down to 14. Hey, by the way, if you haven't already, please hit the like button on this video. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It's pretty cool. Little things, if you're just tuning in, we started off the show talking about a new Facebook group that I recommend you check out, and maybe you like it. And the name of the group is Bronco Roundtable 6G Plus. It is a moderated channel. It's not there for build dates and complaints and how long. And it's there for adventures, showing pictures of the adventures, modifications, and all the cool stuff around the Bronco. So keep that in mind. I think it's somewhere to go if you just don't want to see the usual. Of course, there's a place for all of it, I guess. But if you're just tired of it, go check them out. It's pretty cool. And that's if you're just tuning in and you didn't hear what we talked about in the beginning. Oh, let's see. They all left because they're here for Gavin. Andy, funny thing is, when we were in Townsend, Tennessee, I can't tell you how many people, they were like, hey, Gavin, and where's the guy with the glasses? And by the way, I only wear these glasses whenever I'm doing this so I can see the computer. I don't always wear my glasses, Pete's sakes. And yeah, I'm his driver, grocery getter, buyer, whatever you want to call it. Anyway. My favorite job, by the way. Dirk Connor in North Shore with Rough Country. I think you're right. I think that's what it was. Mobile mono Broncos are fully rebuildable. Yeah, anything's rebuildable, I think, right? As long as you can get parts for it. Yeah. So, but Andy, what you said about everybody here for Gavin. Yeah, that is correct. That would be correct. So, we're back up to 19. I appreciate that. And by the way, if you're part of the 5 that just joined us, hit the like button if you don't mind, please, and subscribe if you haven't already. I greatly appreciate it. We do have some great content. Next week's going to be, I think, a super cool show. But tonight we talked about Facebook, another group to go to that is not combative. Bronco Raptor, there's really crickets, no news. There's nothing out there. So we don't know anything. There's over 53,000, and that was based on when that article was written. If you go to Ford Authority and keep up on it, that's a lot of wheels being built. 53,000 Fords built, waiting on some type of chip or whatever. And who knows, there may be an issue with something else on the Broncos. We do not know. So I guess we'll find that out one day in the future. We do have a video that is, I don't know, did it premiere already? I kind of just stack stuff up tonight. I thought I did 10 p.m. But we do have a video here. Let's go on over to YouTube. Oh, let's see. Premieres at 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. Eastern we have a video that's premiering called Bronco Road Trip. All right, so this begins our trip to, it's really short, like 5 minutes. It just begins our trip to Super Celebration East. There's a few videos of what we did driving around there. This is not Bronco Super Celebration East content. This is the drive there, a little bit of driving in town, and then and some of the drive back, I think. So it's either going to be a two-part or possibly, if there's enough footage, a three-part video. But tonight's part one, Bronco road trip, and that will premiere at 10 p.m. So as soon as I'm done here on live, I'm going to jump right over there on comments, and that is about 45 minutes away. So what I need to know from you, everyone watching right now, would greatly appreciate a comment on this if you could, and we'll do a poll on this probably next week. I'll think about the question. How much content, since you watch our channel, and a lot of you watch us each week, and I greatly appreciate you being here, and thank you for the subscribing and liking our videos and keep coming back. How much other content could we cover other than Bronco? In other words, camping out, with the Bronco, right? Camping with the Bronco, going fishing remotely with the Bronco, but also some four-wheeling type stuff as far as four-wheelers, ATV, side by sides, things like that. Would that be interesting to you? Is that something that you would keep coming back to see? It's a question I had bouncing around my head today. Say, how much other stuff can we do? Of course, as we start using our Bronco more, that is going to be a lot better. You'll actually get to see the adventures and out in the wild. But weather's been horrible here. So our biggest thing is the Shenandoah Mountains and the Outer Banks. So right now it's been the Outer Banks, and as soon as school's over with, we'll be heading to the mountains for a little extended weekend. But right now it's kind of hard. You can go for Saturday, come back, and we like going for Friday and coming back late Sunday, which is one of the reasons we moved our stream from Sunday night until Wednesday night, is so that we could do those weekend adventures and not have to leave early. If you're like 3, 4, 5 hours away, get back, get ready, and do the show. So anyway, but I didn't know what to do with myself Sunday because it rained and we didn't have plans. So I could have streamed, but any other weekend, I'm typically busy. So I'd love to know in the comments, what else would you like to see on our channel here? Come on, folks, comment. And by the way, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Super chat, super stickers, and if you want to head over to drivenwildgear.com, check out this book, Driven. If you're into it, one of these days we'll read a couple paragraphs, but it's pretty cool. It just tells us kind of crazy adventure. I used to be 100% Mustang, and now I still like Mustang, don't get me wrong, but I like cars in general. But the Bronco is so cool because it's so usable. We get to go out and do all kinds of cool stuff with it out, in the wild. It's not like driving to a parking lot and just hanging out, where you get to use it. So there's a difference with the Bronco. It's more user friendly, right? So let's see here. Hey, Brian, what's going on? I see. Christopher, what's going on? I left Facebook a year ago. I'm not interested in being part of my, yeah. Yeah, totally understand that. So I am working out, we can stream to Twitter, but I'm working out our intro for Twitter. So that's why we didn't do Twitter tonight. Working all that stuff out. Let's see. Big Ollie news. Uh-oh. What's that all about? Mobile. Thanks for tuning in, Mobile, by the way. I didn't say hello earlier. Dirk Connors. Okay. Let's see. That was somebody. Overlanding was answering Dirk there. Brian, hello. Still catching up. Was Port saying, I hear you. Overlanding for fun. Thanks. That was cool there. I use Facebook, keep up with extended family and birthday. Yeah, Facebook's changed a lot. It really has. That's kind of sad. John Burdett, overlanding, which is one of the reasons why we got the hardtop Bronco. The idea was we were going to get the roof rail rack system, but we have to go aftermarket with that right now. And we haven't found anybody we're going to work with yet. We are still kicking that around. Let's see. Doug, yeah, Andy, no thanks. Let's see. I agree with Broncos 78. What was that? Yes, adventures content's always good. Yeah, and I just don't want to turn anyone off, but it's like to the point. I want to show more content of using the Bronco, maybe not about it necessarily. Even though, don't get me wrong, we're still talking Bronco a lot, but I mean using it and it not be a tutorial, but obviously the Bronco will be in the video, right? Because if we go to some remote fishing locations, like there's a place here in Virginia that I love going, but I don't like keeping the fish there because they're farm raised and they're let go and it's a stocked stream. That's why I need to go back to Tennessee. There was some really good fishing down there. Z Roads has a good route. John, I've heard that from several people now. I am definitely going to check into Z Roads for sure. I'm gone in 60. What is going on? Look, I've been, by the way, enjoying your Instagram videos with the EV transits. It's definitely interesting. It's hard for me to, really wrap my head around that. But I'm liking the videos, and it's kind of the common theme there is everyone that drives it, they're getting used to how quiet it is and how much torque it has off the line, and it's very interesting. So thanks for those videos. Keep them coming. Let's see. Let's see. I would like to see general maintenance from a mechanic's point of view. G Willikers, yeah, once in a while we need to have. I So we have this really good Ford technician, but because he works where he works, he can't come on yet. But when he opens his shop, he will, and 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 then that way he can talk more about the stuff there. It's just his idea. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about in the comments. Don't get me in trouble. Um, yeah, all Bronco all the time is growing rear without one. Yeah. So, and this is another thing. We heard this from I think Andrea said it when we were in Townsend, said, while you're waiting and you're waiting on news of your Bronco and stuff, you're able to hear Bronco content, see others getting their Bronco, which is kind of, I know, but at least hearing the news, the updates and things like that. So it's Andy, I know what you're talking about. I'm not that slow, but I am trying to read the comments and concentrate, and sometimes I don't reread all of this stuff. But I know what you're talking about. But anyway, it's and by the way, someone else in a basement might not, right? So they might, start. This is the internet. What were we talking about? I don't even know what we're talking about. But yeah, anyway, off-roading with the Bronco is definitely something. Oh, we are talking about keeping interest, because if you don't have your Bronco, you like seeing them out there to stay interested in it. One thing I can tell you is if you're still waiting on your Bronco and you haven't received it yet, look, they are fun to drive. We did a couple video posts on this. I drove 9.5 hours ish. Depends on how many stops. I think it was like 9.5 hours. And we got to Townsend, Tennessee. We got out for 2 hours and I had to get back in and drive across town. No big deal, 45 minutes to the hotel. But I wasn't tired of driving it. And I can tell you, most vehicles, I get tired of sitting in it. That I'm done. I'd rather walk where I'm going at that point. The Bronco is something that you drive for 9 hours, and because it's that comfortable. Now, someone can, complain. I've got someone they might be watching now on our Facebook, Bronco. Wow, they're always commenting, about like how we're driving it and stuff like that. But we can drive a straight line down the road, and for 9 hours, we're not having to play, like a pinball machine, right? Where you're working your hands left and right, and you're trying to keep, if you hit something in the road, it's not wandering all over the place. It's drive straight, it tracks straight. It's fun to drive. It's also comfortable. So there's advantages for most of the time that I'm in my Bronco. I'm not rock crawling. So I'd much rather have the IFS than solid axle. But anyway, that's just me. But let's see. Yeah. Overlanding for fun. Thinks Z Road should make an ambassador out of all of them. I definitely need to check them out for sure. And let's see. Yeah, Andy, I hear you. Let's see. Nick said, I'm still waiting to get my 1970 back on the road. So, what are you doing to it, Nick? I was like, is it a rebuild, an engine issue, or are you totally redoing it, or what's working on that? So, 1970 straight. I was actually looking at that article of that the old Big Ollie that I think it's how you say OLY, I guess. Ollie. Sorry. Um, it it that's a 69 and you've got a 70. So I don't think there's much difference there. How many years did they make the fold down windshield? Was that just one? Was that 66 where the windshield was actually on a workable hinge? Or did I just dream that was even a thing? Rod Thompson, what's content request? Coast to coast road trip with the Pacific Northwest. You know, that is interesting. You remember last year, Gavin and I had this crazy plan that when we got the Bronco, we were going to drive. When we got the hardtop, we were going to drive to Johnson Valley, California. That's where on the sport bar in the Bronco, I think it's the passenger side, could be driver side, but on the sport bar, there's coordinates, and there's coordinates for where the birth of the Bronco, Johnson Valley, California. Um, we're we wanted to go there, and then we didn't get the Bronco, our first one, until late in the fall, then the other one until January. So it kind of messed that up. But who knows what the summer holds? We do have some plans um, to definitely do a lot of driving this summer, so we'll see how that works. And I'll be working remotely, I guess. Let's see. Go back here. Yeah. John Burnett says in 2024, hope to go to Alaska overlanding adventure. That'd be awesome. Definitely, that would be awesome. Let's see. I've Nick says got a Dana 44. I've got to install and rebuild the rear brakes and put in the windshield and buy a new front drive shaft. Oh, that's a bit of work. I mean, it's not too long, right? You can knock that out, and if you have everything there, you could probably knock it out in a couple weeks, a week. Depends how much time you have to work on, I guess. But let's see. Not sure total years, but I know the fold down windshield is available on the 71. Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it was a very limited run on that. I don't know why I was thinking about it. I did see a picture of a Bronco to where it looked like a piano hinge for the windshield, a hinge for the windshield, but it wasn't operable. It was just there. That was interesting. I don't know if that was aftermarket or factory. One of the things I need to do is I need to get brushed up on the early Bronco a little bit more. I told you in an early stream, I own one for about a week that I bought for $5, and it was a dark blue with a white top, rusted heavily, and had a tree growing through the floor pan and out of where the windshield was supposed to be. We had to cut that little tree down, drag it out, drag it up onto a trailer with a winch, and I sold it a week later for $500. Of course, we had to winch it, tow it, had to pay somebody to tow it home, stuff like that. I did buy it with good intentions, but when I got it home, I realized that at 24 years old, I think it was a little much for me. And then I did this. This car here was a basket case. Actually, this Mustang on this book was, I found it, bought it back on a Thursday. Saturday, it was headed to the crusher. So that tells you how long that got there. Let's go back to comments here. Bronco 78, we answered that. I'm gone in 60 said, drove a 96 Bronco today so a customer could check it out. It was all over the road. I thought to myself, yeah, they've come a long way. And like I said, any shortfalls that people complain about in the Bronco is made up for the other 99% of the time you're driving it. And I know I would suspect that there's going to be a redesign in steering. Like the Bronco Raptor has bigger tie rod ends, but some people think that they're going to have issues, but I don't know. But the rack is definitely changed. It's heavier duty. I don't know. When you look at that control arm and you look at I think the bottom is cast, but the top is forged steel control arm, the top control arm forged steel. And with I call them bump stops, but they're actually called jump bumpers. They've put those things on the frame, the taller shock towers, kind of getting off subject, but they've really stepped it up with the Bronco Raptor versus my Badlands is more capable than what I'm doing. I'm not putting 40 plus tires on it, and I not doing any kind of crazy hardcore rock crawling. It's just not my wheeling adventures, right? Um, our stuff is more sand. I don't want mud, but I mean, you're going to have a muddy trail, mud puddles and stuff, but I'm not going to go mud bogging, by the way. And I don't know if anyone's seen All Terrain Nation did a video of a mud bog last weekend. You ought to check that out. It's pretty interesting. Some of the vehicles that you wouldn't expect to be in there. And one that would not be in there is my Bronco at all. So I can tell you that. Head of JV need. Andy, I will definitely, if we head out there, I will definitely let you know. So we're struggling with the fact we want to go to Supercell in Wisconsin. So it's likely we'll go, but it's more likely we'll fly out there and just have to rent something, to actually while we're there. But I really, really would like to drive out to Supercell West because there's some other stuff we want to do there. But Gavin's in school, so his mom and I would, his mother and Gavin would have to fly, or Gavin and his mother, let me get that right. They would have to fly out, stay for that weekend, that limited time, maybe a day, and then the weekend, and then fly back, and then I'd have to drive back. So I'm still working out logistics of that. The other option is we could just have our Bronco taken out there on an enclosed truck and trailer, and then I'll fly out there and drive it back. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Technical disasters. I agree. I hate mud. Takes too long to clean. Yeah. And I heard someone say this before. I can't remember who said it. It was not, I'm not taking credit for it, but they said um, that when you run your vehicle through a lot of mud, heavy mud, and especially long periods of time, that you break stuff that doesn't show up for weeks later. I heard that it resonated because they're absolutely right. You know, you're dealing with bearings, brakes, and stuff like that. Now, if your CV boots aren't ripped or torn, chances are, yeah, that's going to be okay. But the brakes, and it just gets everywhere. It gets in the alternator, especially with the 2.7. The alternators on the passenger side kind of low. The 2.3, it is on the driver's side up a little higher, but it's not like it's on top of the engine. So I think if you had to compare, there's one option there. I don't think water's that big of an issue there, but I do know mud's just nasty. So, you're going to get mud on these things, but let's see. I'm going to a wedding in June and I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I was talking to someone today about, well, chatting with them about Moab, and they were mentioning that, if you want to go out and do, say, the off rodeo there, that you want to spend multiple days there. It's a little bit longer to get to the events. Some of the other events, you're 30 minutes to an hour away from the airport. I know in Texas, we flew in, I think it was Austin, we flew into, it was roughly an hour and 20-minute drive from the airport to the hotel and another 30 minutes to the event. Well, actually, that's stacking it. I mean, I think it would be like an hour and 20 minutes to the hotel or to the event because there's a point where you turn left and go to the event or go straight and go to the hotel. So it's about an hour and 20 minutes. So, but it's not like it's a day trip from the airport to the event. So then you have to add a day there, a day back, and then you want to have fun while you're there. So, but Moab, you should try to. Now, what I need is a car hauler, Andy. There was one one of the racing things out there, but my wife is a hard no on that. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. Anyone else think the Bronco has pretty severe noise? Let's see. Pretty severe nosedive when hard braking. Sorry, I couldn't read that there while I wear the glasses. So G. Williker said, anyone else think the Bronco has pretty severe nosedive when hard braking? So I know that there's a lot of articulation in the Bronco. I noticed when you're off road, of course, I like the way it drives. I luckily haven't had to really nail the brakes. The Bronco, the 22 we've had, it has done some of that. It helps keep me in the lane sometimes, even though you get near, you're not out of the lane, but it sees the line through the camera on the mirror and it wants to put you back over in the dead center. There's a little bit of that going on, but I haven't had to brake real hard. So I don't know, but hopefully I don't find out the hard way, but I might have to work with that and see if there's anything to it. I know when you're off road, we're driving into the event, a gravel driveway, no big deal with a little bit of bumps in it. It's just a lot different vehicle to ride in. It's so comfortable when you're hitting those little bumps. In Texas off rodeo, it was very comfortable hitting some of the big bumps. Last year, we had a driver in Townsend, Tennessee, that took us down the trails that Ford had developed there, or the company had developed. And I remember seeing all the little bumps in the road, and you really didn't feel them. You were just cruising across them, And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is going to be fun because you're not going to get beat to death. Every little bump you hit, you're not bouncing around. But I mean, you did bounce when you hit the real big ones, but I liked it. G Willikers, I will check. Let's see. Front suspension seems soft on a standard OBX. I will check on ours and see. I haven't noticed it. I mean, maybe. Luckily, I haven't had to nail the brakes yet. Let's see. You should try. We're going there. But I'll try that. Thanks for the comment. I'll definitely try that. And if you're watching right now and you just tuned in, you haven't already, please hit that like button and the subscribe if you haven't already. I promise we have some good videos coming out. Here in about 20 minutes, we have a video, part of our road trip. It's not technical or anything like that. It's just a short 5-minute video of the drive out to Townsend. And there's going to be more scenic videos in part 2 coming up if I can get my GoPro and the computer to cooperate. Let's see here. Might be calling Tim up and getting his advice, which, by the way, I definitely appreciate. Tim helped me on a video, getting rid of a lot of background noise, a lot of loud talking, and probably cut it down like 50%. So thanks, Tim. Let's see. John Burnett right now, especially. Yeah, I hear you. May try to change when you start braking and use the larger gap between you and the vehicle in front of you. Yeah, I hear you. Bronco 78, it could be. There could be a difference between the standard OBX. Bronco 78 said standard OBX probably a little different than the Badlands or Sasquatch, and it's very possible. Of course, the tires by themselves makes it feel a little different, and of course the suspension is different. There could be some of that in there. It's definitely something that I'll try. Like I said, thank goodness I haven't had to nail the brakes or anything like that. So. But it's going to be interesting when we get the Raptor to find out, the travel in that suspension. I know I've said it a gazillion times, a gazillion and one, 13 inches of travel in the front and 14 in the rear. And then the computer will moderate that. That doesn't mean that you're going to get all 13 or 14, but with I think it's the Fox active valve shocks, it helps to determine how much travel you need. Let me put it to you that way. It's just not, a static situation where you're going to get it. It's what the Bronco needs. And I'm pretty certain that they're using technology with the cameras. They're looking at the terrain ahead of you and all of that. Hey, and Basil, we might do a, G. Wilker said, drive it like you stole it. I need to. I baby my engines until they get, over 10,000 miles on them. And I know I'm not saying you got to break them in until they get to 10,000. I just typically go easy on them and then, let her rip potato chip. Let's see. Don't drive a Bronco like a sports car that weighs half as much. I got it. Although mobile, I will tell you the drive, if you've ever been to Pigeon Forge, the drive between Pigeon Forge and Townsend is Ware Valley Road. And you kind of go up, you're basically up and over a mountain. So you're zigzagging left and right. And there's a couple really good turns in there. The Bronco is very comfortable to drive on those roads. I get it. It's not a sports car. It's not meant to be drag race, on the street and all that other stuff. I get it, but I'm just saying, or at the track, I should say, it's interesting. You see a video, see how fast one accelerates. It's cool to know, but I'm just saying how I'm not going to drive mine. But it was fun that I didn't have to slow down a couple of 100 yards before a turn. Like if I was, in even my F-250 drives pretty good, but it's so heavy. You've got to pay a little more attention to it, especially if you have a load behind you, obviously. But the Bronco did really well, and so that drive between Pigeon Forge and Johnson Valley was fun to drive, especially the earlier in the day it was, right? And there wasn't so much traffic. I have no desire to speed through there or anything. It was just fun to drive. So, and that's one of the biggest things. Someone asked me, we're going to do a review. We have a video coming up between the two, Becky and myself. How does she like hers? How do I like mine? And that's going to be a big subject in it, is the drivability of it. Becky actually says that her Bronco has better steering and responsiveness than the Range Rover Sport. Now, they are two separate vehicles. I get it. But she's talking about the tightness in the steering. The Rover has some pretty high-tech steering. The Bronco has more of a durable, I'll say high-tech. I'm not going to say it's overly high-tech, but it's very efficient and it's comfortable. So what does that say? Personal opinion is what it says, but definitely interesting. So, hey, the pavement ends now. Do they still make cars? Yeah, I don't know. We have no desire to. Let's see. I have an old Mustang '66. I have a '91 Mustang. My daughter has a 2010. What else? We have Explorer, which is an SUV, I guess. Like very few people make cars. I remember years ago when Ford announced that they were going to really cut back on the cars, maybe build one or two, or something like that. I remember thinking, what, like, no, you got to have a car. And then you look at what's on the road now and you realize, yeah, we really don't need cars. So pretty interesting. And estates. I do want my 100 acres though, that we're still one of these days. Not right now though. Economy is a little, let's see. Let's go back to some of the comments here. And thanks for everybody. If you've just tuned in, by the way, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We have some cool stuff, including a video coming up here in less than 20 minutes. Mobile, I was looking at the Miatas until the world went wrong. I hear you. Let's see. How well does the Bronco hold back going down the hills and the mountains? Well, as far as driving my Bronco, uphill, downhill, around the corners, I loved every bit of it. I was happy with the torque of the 2.7. That's a video that we have. Are we happy with it now that we've driven it in the real world over a long period of time and in the mountains? Pretty exciting that our MPG's 20.2, that is not in eco mode, that's just driving it. And a lot of that average at just over 5,000 miles was I'd say maybe not even, about a quarter of it was in mountains and hilly terrain where you typically get less fuel economy. So when we have this trip to Florida on the interstate, that's going to be a big tell, I think, right there. Bronco 78, though, has a beast of that 78 Bronco with the 351M. When you're in on the parkway with all the trees and the kind of the hills that go up beside you, you could hear the echo of that. I think he commented last week, America. That's what it was screaming the entire time. It was pretty cool, by the way. Actually, I liked it. That's the one thing I do miss is that sound, like I can tell you about all the other cool stuff that I like about the 6th gen, but having that sound there would be the icing on the cake. SUVs are just large station wagons, full circle. Mobile, you have a point there. I've had this, like, get an old Ford Squire station wagon, like the really, really big ones, and make a drift car out of it. I know someone's done it, but I'm just saying I'm to that age now where that's one of those bucket list items for some reason, like who knows why. So maybe we could build a drift car out of a big station wagon, sort of like the National Lampoon's car, I think it was. Let's see. But the music rock. Let's the worst decade. Yeah, we're living through the '70s again. I hear you. But the music rock, Kyle, that's a good point. Nick, you got some sound when driving through the tunnel. Oh, there's plenty of sound. We're driving through the tunnel. It's actually driving through the. You're talking about Bronco 78. I get it, especially on his, but even on my soft top, man, when you got in that tunnel, it was some elevated sound there. And we have tunnels here that go under the Chesapeake Bay and under the James River and the Hampton River, or not Hampton River, but the Hampton Harbor. Um, it's loud in those tunnels, but it was really loud up in the mountains because I guess the tunnels is smaller and there's less room, you know. Oh, let's see. The Queen Trail Family Truckster. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Bronco 78 may have the only 158 horsepower, but it does sound good. No, it sounds really sweet, regardless of the horsepower. Let's see. Good deal. All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you being here tonight. I hope this Wednesday night's going to work out for us. I know it's feeling better on my end because I have more time to prep and get ready for it. And we bring guests back in, not every week, but whenever we have someone we want to talk to. And I've been wanting to talk to this person next week. Double check, confirm it again tomorrow, and then we'll send out the announcements for next week's show, give you an entire week to start thinking about. We'll do that in the community section on YouTube. Plenty of Bronco content. There's going to be some more technical stuff. I am really looking heavy into the 10R60 transmission. The Ray Bestis is making some soft components for those, the friction plates, clutches, and things like that. So there's some aftermarket stuff, but I'll be honest, I don't know. I haven't heard too many complaints about the 10R60. I mean, originally you heard people that just didn't want it, but that's kind of been off the radar. The transmission shifts good. I mean, it goes through the gears pretty good. You know, if you're in performance mode, obviously the shifting changes in different goat modes, but I mean, in normal mode, it drives good. It downshifts good. It's not hard shifting, not in mine. I mean, maybe we got these unicorns, 2 of them, but they're both fine. And let's see what else. Yeah, so the transmission, like if you're going to really work on the engine and produce a lot more power, then maybe you look at doing something in the future, you know, changing the clutches. So some of the soft components. Also, by the way, I don't know yet because a lot hasn't been announced on the Bronco Raptor on the 3.0, but they have Garrett turbochargers. But are they the standard small spool turbos, or are they a new technology? And we're going to actually read a little bit further into that and talk about that because, you know, Garrett has a really solid product, by the way. And I'm really glad Ford went to them. I mean, not anything bad about anyone else, but the superchargers have been proven so far. Now, anything could happen. I get it, but I'm just saying so far. Let's see. But yeah, some of the 70s music, but we're back to music from turbos to 70s music, by the way. Disco and the Bee Gees were in the 70s too. Mobile, I don't think you're not into the Bee Gees or what, man. They're just cool. But as far as transmissions, Bronco content and stuff like that, oh, look who's back.
Is this supposed to be premiering?
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't think that it was supposed to be premiering.
Sorry.
With the live.
Come here real quick. Say goodnight to everyone again. You see who didn't go to bed yet, right? Bedtime.
Yeah, all
right. So go to your room and get on the chats real quick. When I'm off of this, then I'll take over the chats.
Chat?
Yeah. When it premieres. If we're not off here. We have 10 minutes. We're probably off here. Thank you, sir. Yeah, man. Gavin's, I know y'all watch the stream for Gavin. I get it. So I'm here in between, like, you know, all of that. Bronco 78 said goodnight, Gavin. Sorry, yell over the mic like that. But we're all friends here, right? It doesn't really matter. But anyway, what are our plans for the rest of the week? And then we'll wrap this up for the night. We are going to if the weather's right. We're going to go to the Outer Banks hopefully on Sunday. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying it till we go, right? It depends on the weather. Last week, like I said, it was so bad wind wise and tide wise that two more houses fell in the ocean. So that gives you an idea why we didn't go. Let's see. Saturday, we're supposed to head over to a place that it's going to be raining, and there's some trails over there that we were going to ride our four wheelers on, but now it's just looking like the Bronco over there. So we'll see what we can get into over there, if anything. And so maybe some fun videos coming up next week. But either way, next Wednesday night, we're going to have a really, really good conversation with someone that you can actually learn from and learn some tricks too. Let's go here. Andy was born in 79. I'm starting to, yeah, I hear you, Andy. Well, I'm a little bit older than you then, but let's see. I'm starting to realize that the more and more places I go, I'm becoming the oldest person in the room, which I still feel 20 something. So I guess that says a lot about it. Let's see. I'm going. I'm going to 60. If you don't like it that way, you're interested. So I'm gone in 60 said, if you don't like the way your transmission is shifting, you can have it have the transmission control module put back into learning mode if you babied it during break-in. So that's a good point. So you could definitely do that. And I have been babying mine. However, I have zero issues with the way mine is shifting because if I need to nail the gas in something, I have three other vehicles to do it in. I'm not necessarily going to do it in the Bronco, but that's just my driving style, right? People drive stuff differently. Now, the Bronco Raptor is another story. It was built well, they're all built to run, but from the factory, when you put jump bumpers on something, yeah, that's your excuse right there. See, dirt. Well, all right. Well, I'm not as golden as you there. You've got me beat there. But yeah, I am. Okay, so I'm not the spring chicken in the group anyway. So, but yeah, I really look forward to more of these events. But let's go back through the travel that we know. We know we're going to try. It's kind of funny. We know we're going to try, but we're trying to go to Supercell. I think is Wisconsin. I think it's Wisconsin. I think they call it North. Definitely Supercell West. There's some other stuff we want to do out west, by the way, but we are limited because of school. So you got that. But I like the idea of Wisconsin because in the summer school's out, that type thing. Um, let's see what else is there. Johnson Valley, maybe in the future. Who knows? It is a long drive. I mean, it's tremendously long drive, but we'll see. And if I don't get tired of the Bronco and a cross country drive, then I will never get tired of it. But that's pretty extreme. Let's see what else do we have going on. Plenty of trips to the beach, and we're going to head further south, even down into South Carolina. Someone invited us down to the restaurant in Myrtle Beach, and definitely going to take them up on that. If I have my way about it, that's going to be on our way to Florida. But if I get voted out on that, we'll be flying over Myrtle Beach. So it's kind of hard to grab a sandwich when you're doing it that way. Let's see. I love these comments here. I drove a double manual F-150 Monday. It was nice. I hear you. Bronco 78. I'm looking forward to Supercell, Wisconsin, taking a week off and driving up. That's going to be pretty cool. Bronco 78. What is the when you've mapped it? What is it saying hour wise from where you are? Because it seems like you're further west than I am, but I'm a lot further north. So I just need to map it, I guess, tonight and figure it out. Mobile ask, ever been to the EAA? No, I have not. All of it. No, I have not. I don't get out much actually, and the Broncos finally getting me out of my shell. See, you guys don't understand that I am doing a lot more than I have for the last 20 years because I am always working. and I'm spending more time with the family now because of the Broncos than I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like we never hung out, but I'm just saying it's my mission now is time with the family, secondaries work. And I'm making work so it allows the first thing to happen, which is spend time with the family. Um, Bronco 78 said, yeah, I go off onto these motivational things. Here it is right here in my book, Driven Again. By the way, if you're interested, go to drivenwildgear.com, pick up a copy. I'm not just saying that's to sell a book. I went through a lot of grief and a lot of pain, and that's a shortcut. Some people can say, oh, wow, this is what he did. Let me do it now and not go through it because I have the shirt to prove it. So let's see. Trail Cartel. Hey, what is going on? You're late to the party, but that's all right. That's all right. It doesn't matter. I'm just glad you showed up. By the way, Trail Cartel has really been doing some cool stuff with his Bronco. And I have to tell you, if you're on Instagram, go ahead and look him up and look at the pictures. The Area 51, it's the first edition, I think. The wheels on that thing are sharp, just a little bit different. I've said it in the comments before. Pretty cool. So good job on the selection. I saw you added something else to it today, or picture of it today. But the wheeling, doing some rock stuff there has been pretty cool. I've been watching the videos and pretty awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. All right. Mobile is asking us, see, been there twice. It's amazing experience. Great people, great food. I'm going to have to check that out, Mobile. I'm going to have to go back and search that. You're about 7 hours from Madison, Wisconsin. So I don't know if Tim with Overlanding for Fun is still here. Tim, if you're here. Yeah, Trail Car Tour, absolutely, man, absolutely. Let's see. We were just talking about Supercell West. I really want to drive out there because I'd like to do some other stuff while I'm out there since I'm going to be driving that far. Definitely want to get your advice when I go out there. But Wisconsin, it's Wisconsin Dells. It's kind of fun. Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. So some of the pictures that I've seen, I really haven't done a lot of, I'm going to have somebody book everything for me, but I'll say, hey, look around. What does the terrain look like? And let me know. I need to just do it myself because I need to know where we're going and, and all that good stuff. But I think we'll be flying up to that, honestly. And then that'll save the potential for Johnson Valley and definitely Supercell West for the driving part, which is going to be fun. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. Nick said Colorado's closer for you. Yeah. Because you're northwest, right? Yeah, you're northwest. So that you could, I mean, it's not like it's around the corner, but yeah, definitely a lot closer. Dells is northwest of Madison. Got it. Tim is downstate for me. He's south in 3. Okay, good deal. Well, that's a good deal for Tim. I mean, he's right there at it. So he drove a few hours over to Tennessee and a few hours north. So that's really good for him. Whereas, we're sort of way over here on the East Coast. Any further, and we'd be in the water with those 2 houses in the Outer Banks that wash down there. I should have showed a picture of that, by the way. Definitely not Bronco content, but, someone says, oh, get your Bronco sandy. It doesn't matter. Not with 40 to 60 mile per hour winds and houses falling in the water. I'll pass. I'll come back next week. But the interesting thing about next week will be what's washed up on the beach this week, because we still have heavy winds now, but they'll be out of here by later this week. So it's going to be pretty fun exploring if we go Sunday, and I will definitely let you know. And like I said, I'll say it again, check out next Wednesday night. I'll confirm it tomorrow for sure, but in the community section on YouTube, I'll announce our guest for next week. Should be very, very, very interesting if you like off-roading and you like wheeling, and it's definitely going to be fun. All right, let's see. Nick said, yep, northwest, half hours. Mobile said, I'm a half hour south of South Bend. Okay, good deal. So general area there. Tennessee's an easy drive, 65. Okay. 7 hours to Nashville. So it is, I heard it was a nice drive from the mid-Atlantic here in southeastern Virginia to Tennessee. It's a nice drive once you get outside of Winston-Salem, because there's 2 ways to go. You can actually go to 81 which there's a lot of trucks running down 81. Andy, if you're still here, you know that area well, and John. Um, so I try to avoid 81, but the other way is down. I say, I guess 81's in Mountain 85, I should say. 85 is turn your ringer off when you're doing a live stream, by the way. 85 to 40 is the way that we go. But once you get outside of Winston-Salem, you get sort of the western part of the state, then it becomes just really cool. I mean, really cool country. Last time we actually took a little detour. We went through Maggie Valley, North Carolina, and went up through that way. It was a really awesome terrain. And there was some hills in there. I mean, there was a lot of braking, a lot of heavy braking through there. So if you're wondering about the brakes in the Bronco, you can heat them up pretty good and they don't fade. At least they didn't on our trip. All right, let's see. Man, y'all got some good comments rolling in here. Let's see. Bronco 78, we won't go straight through. I hear you. Probably a good thing. Probably tried to get lost on the way. You know, it's not a good trip if you don't get lost. We did a little bit of that coming back. We need to go back and look at our trail maps that we have, because we ended up at the top, almost at the top of a mountain, to where the road narrowed and the sides of the road there was non-existent. And you're talking some pretty good drops up there, ears popping, the whole 9 yards. And we were just like straight up lost somewhere west North Carolina. We had just passed over the line. Alrighty. Going to stay west of Chicago. Probably a good thing there. Let's see. Basically some hints about driving to Wisconsin up there. So if you're looking to drive Wisconsin from the south, probably some good to read the comments here. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. So mobile, maybe a video coming out, not that it's definitely Bronco related right now, but could be in the future, is the electronic turbos, where they're putting larger compressors and turbines, larger turbos basically, and the electric motors keep them spooled up at low RPMs. Pretty cool stuff there. Maybe some aftermarket stuff coming to the EcoBoost world. I don't think I would go that far, but I know it is. I'm sure someone will, and I'm sure we'll see a video of it. Let's see, Nick. Everyone should try to make it out to Florence, Oregon, the sand dunes there with all the Broncos. You know, if I can turn this trip when we go to Johnson Valley, which is an entire new trip all the way up to Oregon, but I do know some people out in Oregon that would be cool to meet up with them. They do a lot of this off-roading there on these side-by-sides, and you know, they have all these razors and stuff like that. I definitely see the pictures and I start thinking, man, I need to go, but it looks fun. It looks really fun. So John Bird, Nashville can go to hell in a handbasket real quick with traffic. Yeah, it can. It can. And I'll tell you somewhere that I wasn't crazy about when we were in Tennessee. So Gatlinburg is a cool place to go see, to go visit. But when you're traveling and you're not staying there, it was $20 per vehicle to park, because we wanted to go to the Pancake Pantry, I think it's called. The Pancake Pantry, I think it was. We wanted to go there. We've heard great stuff about it. But the parking around in there, the road's narrow, it's busy, very busy place, very different than Pigeon Forge. I think, you know, of course, Nashville's a lot bigger, but I just think comparing traffic, Gatlinburg is a little small area and it's very busy. And we did go on a Sunday morning. So you have people coming into Gatlinburg, people leaving. So we were at a busy time. But yeah, I'd just stay out of the big cities like that if I can help it. I'd rather go around. Oh, let's see. Silver Lake ORV Park is where all your sand dunes. Yep. Now I've seen a lot of videos out of Silver Lake. Yeah, and I'll tell you somewhere that was really busy driving through. You're talking about road trips and everything, and I guess this is road trip wild outdoors now, but the Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Durham, that whole entire area, that gets very busy as well. It's not a bad drive once you get through there, and then west of there, you're fine. But yeah, it was a pretty busy drive through there. So, all Hey, and everyone, you probably got noticed that I had a video drop um, here on our channel. So it looks like it's playing, or well, maybe it's playing. I don't know if it's playing or not. Who knows? But we shall see. It looks like it is playing. But we have a video that came out. This is our trip, and imagine that. Some people say, "Well, that's poor planning." It wasn't poor planning; it was planned. I just want to see how it works out when you're doing a live stream. You have a video drop. But anyway, hope everyone likes it. I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. Great conversation. Thanks for all the comments. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to us. If you don't mind, that would be awesome. And yeah, Gatlinburg's like old school cruising lanes. John, you are correct. It is narrow. But hey, I appreciate everyone being here tonight. Thank you very much. It's been great chatting with you. Next week, you would definitely want to tune in. It's going to be interesting. We will have a guest. It's going to be fun. Someone probably you may or may not know them, but if you don't, you will after next weekend. I'll confirm it tomorrow. Once it's confirmed, look here for our channel. Definitely appreciate it, everyone. Thank you very much. And I am out. Have a great week. Be successful, be safe, and look forward to talking to you next week. Bye.